We've walked through sunshine, we stood in rain. We've danced in joy and we've wept through pain. Through every valley, through every climb, a love eternal stands the test of time. Faith, fun, and forever love, built on grace and from above. There's storms that shake through skies that clear. His hand has held us year by year.
Woo!
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It is Monday again. Welcome back to a Marriage Monday. This afternoon, last week, I said we had been kissed by the sun. This week, I got slapped by the sun. There's the difference between kissing and slapping. Please remember that. All right, so the sun just done slapped the brother all upside his head, all upside the back of the bald head, the neck, every place. So
it's a little warm.
It's 100 degrees out there. And but hey, we glad that y'all here, and hey, we talking about summer breeze anyway, because it makes me feel fine blowing through the jasmines in my mind. So since we're talking about summer breeze anyway, welcome to this Monday's edition of Marriage Mondays with Bill and Michelle. Right? Last week we kind of talked about slowing down. You know what I'm saying? Taking a break, taking a breather, slowing down, and seeing each other. Or do you really see your spouse, or are you just looking through them at your next assignment?
Ooh, right? That's good.
So we really want to take the time to slow down. Hopefully you've done that this week and kind of slowed your pace down so that you could, I'm gonna set up properly.
Are you?
I slouch. My wife always does all this. I'm taller than her. I want y'all to know that. But you know, she slouched. I mean, I slouch all the time. So anyway, back to the subject at hand. All right. So did you slow down last week?
Our radio people can't see us, so that it doesn't matter.
All right. Well, did you slow down last week? Did you take the time to look at each other deep into each other's eyes? Mm-hmm. Right. So hopefully you did that, and we're going to jump into our topic on today.
All right. So today we're going to talk about something every marriage needs, and that is warmth. You want to make sure that your marriage has some warmth, not just living together, not just paying bills together, not just raising kids together, or maybe even some dogs. Like I don't know about that kind of warmth, okay, but anyway,
I'll just check.
But enjoying each other again. There's just, again, the grind of, for us this past week was pretty crazy. We had a lot going on. And so we did kind of take some time on Sunday to kind of decompress a little bit. We didn't cook dinner. We just went out, grabbed some food, and it was nutritious, though.
Left the TV off?
Yes, we left it. Well, we kind of had the TV on, but we weren't really worried about it. It was lacrosse, which neither one of us understood. It was kind of like watching soccer, but it was an experience.
The gospel singer?
Not Lecrae. Lacrosse.
Oh, lacrosse. Okay. I told you I've been slapped by the sun. Okay. Anyway, yeah.
So, have you ever noticed when you first started dating, everything felt intentional? It felt you were thinking about what you wanted to do. You were writing down what you wanted to say. You were trying to make sure that there was magic every time y'all got together. You couldn't wait to see each other. You complimented each other. Sometimes, depending on who you were as a couple, we didn't necessarily do this, but we know some couples that, will kind of match clothes and, do some of those things so that we're on the same page. And so those were all the things that you were doing. For us, we were kind of, we lived in two different cities. And so we spent a lot of time talking on the phone, again, after 9 o'clock, because long distance was free after 9 o'clock.
Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah. Cell phones weren't really a thing. I mean, they were, but they weren't. And cell phones really were fairly expensive at that time.
I did have one, though.
Yeah, you did have one, but just being able to call and use them, it wasn't like it is now. It wasn't unlimited. So you used them very sparingly. Most of the time you just looked like you was on the phone. You wasn't really talking to nobody because it was kind of expensive.
Y'all, some of y'all will remember the day when everybody put the little fake spiral phone antenna on the back of your window. Wasn't connected to nothing.
Right.
You just rolling, right?
And so when we think about those times, when we think about, getting together and that beginning of of your lives together, you spend a lot of time laughing about things and joking about things and trying to impress the other person, but life sometimes gets in the way.
Yeah, all of a sudden, in the middle of having this grandiose time, life happens to you, and it
Mhm.
happens to all of us, right? So then all of a sudden, there you got careers, you got kids. If you're in ministry, you got ministry, you got responsibilities, stress of just paying bills, and before you know it, I mean, you are on opposite sides of the same table,
Yeah.
if you can believe that. And so, and you just stop. You just stop. Why? Because it seems like there's so many other things that are pressing, that have a greater demand on your time, your talent, and your treasure than what your spouse does. Because we live under the assumption that we will always get back around to the spouse. We'll always get back. We're gonna get back around, but before you know it, it's been weeks, it's been months, and there's been no connection.
And I think we were talking about this at church, that it's real easy the first week that you don't come to church not to, to be like, oh, I feel bad. The next week you kind of feel bad. And by about the third or fourth week, you've already changed your agenda. And I think it's the same way with our marriage. If we are not intentional about what we do and how we do it, if we're not intentional about spending time together, if we're not um, making a conscientious effort to do that, we can drift away and not really even know how long it's been.
Right, because you'll look up and the weeks are turned into months, and for some people the months turn into years, right?
Yeah.
Most marriages just don't fall apart in one big event. Most of the time, it's just little small things that chip away
Mm-hmm.
at that relationship, and over time, it becomes a huge chasm that seems almost impossible to bridge. But it's just because little things have chipped away for months, for weeks, or whatever time period it was, and now you look up and you feel like that your happily ever after has been broken for some reason. All
Yeah.
right. Conversations become shorter. Conversations become more to the point. We're not just talking to talk. We're actually discussing things that need to be done. And there's nothing wrong with doing that, but sometimes you just need to have a conversation just for the sake of having it. You know, and if you don't do that, then again, it begins to chip away at the marriage. Laughter becomes very rare. Frowns become more and more. Things begin to be taken out of context. Why? Because you're not communicating enough to know what the other person is saying. And so, even towards the end, communication becomes challenging and difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And it just started with just a little something that you thought you would get back around to later.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're like, where in the world did our love go?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, when we think about it, we don't want to be those married people that are just like roommates with wedding rings. So we want to make sure that we're taking the time to really cultivate what it is that we have. One of the biggest mistakes married couples makes is just believing that dating ends after the wedding, when in reality you should continue to have that pursuit. And I think you said earlier that sometimes when we're in that pursuit, but we get so caught up on all of the things that we are doing. We're pursuing life more than we're pursuing our mate. And so sometimes we've got to get back to that pursuit. We've got to get back to, yeah, just because you already caught them doesn't mean that you don't need to continue to have that playfulness, or that time where we're saying things to each other that you said when you were trying to catch them, when you were trying to make them blush. We want to make sure that dating is still a part of what we're doing, getting away from the kids, and again, and we say this all the time, it doesn't have to be expensive. You do not have to go spend a whole ton of money, but sometimes just for us, it's maybe that we're going on a ride. There's a fly that is driving me insane. Sorry. Sometimes it's just going on a ride. It's just going to get a drink. It's just going to, to do something that's fun. Maybe it's sitting out on your back porch on nights when it's a little bit cooler. Again, don't get so caught up in what the date looks like that you forget about making sure that you take the time to have the date.
Right. Right. I like what you said that it doesn't have to be expensive. It could be well thought out and planned, or it could be spontaneous. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? All of a sudden, let's just go do that. And I think that both spouses need to be able to just step into the moment sometimes. Hey, let's just go run over here and do something. All right, let's go. You
Right.
know, I mean, trust me, all that drama that you had prior is going to be there when you get back home. And
Right.
quite frankly, that 10 to 15 minutes to an hour didn't do anything to change that dynamic, right?
Mhm.
So why not invest that time? Because you still need those kind of moments that say, hey, I choose you,
Yeah.
right? Those moments that say, I enjoy our time together. Those moments that makes your spouse feel wanted, accepted, and above any and everybody else, you're the one,
Yeah.
right? So please recognize that affection is bigger than intimacy. And so what do? Sometimes when people uh, need affection, right? And the spouse doesn't know how to give them the affection that they want, you go to the default, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Because it's easy to go to the intimacy of sex, but it's really not, doesn't always have to be. I know this is your weird subject, but
yeah,
intimacy does not always have to be.
It doesn't always have to be sex. It should be, but it don't have to be. All right.
There's lots of ways to be intimate that are not
Yeah,
sexual.
there are all kinds of ways to be intimate that are not sexual. But anyway, all right. But
Simmer
you know,
down.
affection should start, and intimacy should start before the bedroom anyway. I mean, what is your strategy, fellas? What is your plan? How you gonna work this? How you gonna make this magic happen? I'm saying like that, right? It could be holding hands. It could be a hug. It could be a gentle touch on the shoulder. It could be looking into each other's eyes.
So are you saying that like you haven't ever needed a hug?
Very, very seldom. I mean, on occasion.
That's not true.
On
Last week you
occasion.
needed a hug, just like we both needed a hug last week.
On occasion, you know, I might need a hug every blue moon, every once in a while.
Whatever.
But if that's what your spouse needs, then supply them that. That is something so simple and so easy to do and accomplish. It takes no money. It doesn't take a lot of time. But if it's meaningful to them, then why wouldn't you accommodate them in that way? Okay. Perhaps it's looking into each other's eyes, or just a smile or a wink. You know, you should be, and we've done this before in a crowded room, and you look over there and you see your spouse, and you know, you just give them that little nudge. You know what I'm saying? So, and nobody else knows what's going on, but it's that just confirmation that, hey, we are in this thing together.
Yeah. And when we think about making sure that our spouse gets what they need, not what we want, but what they need.
Amen.
When we understand what they need, okay?
Thank you, Jesus. Ooh.
Did you feel it?
I feel it. I feel it. I feel it. I feel it.
Then it tells them that it convention ain't till.
Oh, that's next week.
Yeah. No, that's Wednesday.
I'm practicing.
Yeah.
I'm practicing.
I still see you.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just, you know, that showing them what they need tells them that I still see you. I still, when I see you, I still see that person, that girl, that boy that we initially got together. I still appreciate you. Sometimes women, and I don't know how it feels for men, but I know as wives, sometimes we feel unappreciated. We feel like we are doing all of these things and nobody ever says, hey, you know what? I really do appreciate how you help or how you do this or how you, and so sometimes we just need to tell our spouse that I appreciate the fact that you are doing X, Y, or Z, whatever that might be. Make sure that you convey to them that you still enjoy being close to them, that you still enjoy being in their presence, that you still enjoy, you know, just hanging out. We don't have to do anything special. Sometimes we just go, hey, we're just going to watch a movie. We just turn on a movie. Most of the time the movie watches us, but it's the ideal that we're just going to be in this space together, and that we feel comfortable enough and that we are relaxed enough that we could both go to sleep.
Right. Right.
So people need to feel loved. Your spouse needs to feel loved outside of special occasions. It shouldn't just be a Mother's Day. It shouldn't just be a Father's Day. It shouldn't just be a birthday or an anniversary. They should come home sometimes randomly and there's flowers, or there's randomly, you know, the dinner that they absolutely love. Whatever your spouse, again, whatever your spouse's love language is, which you have to know, and it changes over time. How do you make sure that you are, if it's words of affirmation, can you text them, you know, words that will get them excited before they get home? What is it that they need? If it's acts of service, what can you do as a service that you can provide for them so that they know exactly, hey, I see you, I feel you, and I'm ready to be here with you. When was the last time you complimented your spouse? And not just the superficial, oh, you look cute, or oh, but what did you were specific about it? For no reason, not because they got dressed up, not because it was your anniversary, not because you wanted something from them, but just because, you know, you smell real good.
Right. Just because.
Just because.
Just because.
Just
like
because.
The smell of sweat in the morning. I'm just playing. Hey, here's the truth, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, please recognize this. Words matter. You know, when we were growing up, some of you grew up in the era, and even if you didn't, you heard those saying, "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me." That's
so
simply
wrong.
a lie. The words cut deeper than a whole lot of other stuff, and the pain seems to linger longer.
How many of us would rather have gotten a whooping than to have them talk to us forever and ever and ever and ever? Just give me a whooping.
Right,
just,
right.
Let this be over with.
So understand that words do matter, and your spouse should never have to wonder how you feel about them. Okay, they shouldn't be like, do he really love me? Is he gonna call me? Whatever the record says, anyway. Right? They shouldn't have to wonder why, because that's your responsibility to make your spouse feel loved and appreciated in a language that means something to them. And we really got to stress that, okay? In a language that really means something to them. And it could be something as simple as, hey, you look nice today, or you look beautiful today, or I appreciate the things that you're doing. I appreciate that you were able to take care of this for me, or whatever it is. Just communicate that with them, because they need to hear the words coming from your lips into their ears, right? Work on that. All right. Point number 4, friendship keeps love alive. Friendship keeps love alive. What do we mean? One thing we've learned over the years is that your marriage lasts longer when friendships stay strong. Are y'all friends, or are y'all just business partners?
Do you still laugh together?
Yeah. Are y'all friends? Or are y'all just a hookup?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it could be all of the above. But do you still enjoy one another's company? These are the things that if you don't, it chips away at that relationship slow. Like when water drips. You know, even a drip of water doesn't amount to much, but over time, it can ruin a whole floor if left unchecked. Okay. So those are the things that chip away, and before long, you discover that you're way out of touch and way out of contact with one another. So keep the friendship strong in your relationship.
Yeah. Are you, when you think about that friendship, what do you do with your girlfriends, with your partners? What are you doing with them? It should be that on top, and some on top of that with your spouse. All right. So can you ride in the car without talking and still enjoy each other's company? Can we just sit? I remember you talking about when your dad was sick, and you would go over there, and your mom and dad would just be sitting in the room, and they wouldn't be saying anything. And so,
Holding hands, honestly sitting in the sunshine in the living room. And my
right.
dad he was pretty ill then. He couldn't really move a whole lot at that point. And so, yeah, they would just, here's the thing. They would sit there in the living room holding hands, and you could just tell that it was enough. They didn't need no music, no television. They didn't need anything else. Just being here with you, holding your hand is enough.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, can you do that? Can you just sit in the space together? Not necessarily that you have to have music, that you have to have stuff, that you have to be entertained.
Mm-hmm.
But by the same
Good
thing,
Good
together,
point.
Can y'all entertain each other? Can you be silly together? Can you make each other laugh? Can you, I mean, we laugh a lot on here, but it's not uncommon. I mean, the things that we're talking about here, we talk about at home too. So can you make each other laugh? Can you be silly together? Can you do things? Can you, have that friendship and that love and that desire for each other to want to make each other laugh, to want to, surprise each other sometimes. Sometimes we assume that our spouse knows that we love them, but sometimes we just need to say it.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
We need to, sometimes I know that husbands tend to be those people that say, I show you that I love you because I make sure that I bring home my check every week, and I make sure that I provide a house and all of those things, which are all great, but those are all just normal parts of life. We would have to do that no matter what. That's not how you show me that you love me. How you show me that you love me is sometimes you have to tell me that. Sometimes you have to do other things that show me that you love me, because I believe that safety is part of how we live this life together. It's not necessarily a love language. Okay. So we need to make sure that, again, what are we conveying to our spouse? Do they know how we really feel? Don't assume that they feel it just because they're not supposed to get it by osmosis.
Right. And love shouldn't have to be guessed. You shouldn't be guessing. I wonder, it ought to be shown in a way that your spouse knows that you care for them. So sometimes you just got to pursue your spouse like you did back in the day, right? Flirt again, leave a note or just do something, open the door, plan the date, right? All those different things, buy some flowers, all those different things that don't cost a ton of money, but can really shore up the leaks in your foundation.
And even flowers, sometimes, I mean, depending on where you live, may not necessarily cost you anything, because there's no, you can get some out in the country. You can get some out by the field. I mean, no one cares where they come from. It's really more the thought about it and the fact that you actually were intentional about getting them and bringing them. It's less about where you got them and how much you spent on them.
Unless you're just silly. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, they brought me some flowers. They look like they came from out in the woods someplace. All flowers come from the woods someplace.
That part. But here's my thing. And that's maybe that's me. I could care less. Personally, I buy myself discount flowers. I will buy flowers that are on sale. Now, I don't want them to be looking horrible, but I will buy discount flowers in a minute for myself. So I don't have I don't need you to spend $50 on some flowers. The fact that I come home and there's some, if you got them from the discount area, oh well, take out the crappy stuff and put out the nice ones. I don't care if you spent $2 on them or if you spent $50 on them. But it's the thought that counts. It's the intention that counts.
It's about being intentional in what you're doing it on purpose. All right.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not always about getting an expensive gift. Sometimes when we think about things like time and we think about things like, being able to spend time together, that's invaluable. I can't put a dollar value on the time that we spend together, on the nurturing that we do, on the on the words that you say that build me, that help me to make it another day. I remember when I was going to school, and I would be like, I'm done. Brandon was young, and well, I just had Brianna, and so we were there was just times when I was done, and he would be like, yep, but you're, this much closer to being done. This, we can't give up now. You're in a class of one. You're not competing against anybody else. This is just you and you, girl. You got this. And sometimes I'd be like, I don't want to hear this again. But it would make me get up the next morning and I would still be okay. And so sometimes we just got to know what makes our person tick. How do we help them to just survive another day and to not be overwhelmed by all of the crazy stuff that happens in the world? Because there is a lot. Out of everybody in the world, no matter what, I hope you know that it's us. It's Team Fantastic no matter what. Like, all the other stuff can be going on in the world, but we are a team.
Right.
Doesn't matter what's happening, doesn't matter what people are saying, doesn't matter what's going on in social media, it doesn't matter. All of that, none of that matters, because we're a team.
Right.
We against the world.
Right.
Nobody else is involved in that. Nobody else is a part of that. It's us. And if there's only other person, it would be God.
Right. And it should be the same for everybody out there. I mean, you have to be the team, and you know that you're the team that can win. And that's the wonderful thing about marriage. You're not competing against another team. You're competing against just the adversary and the things that pop up in the world or happen, in life. But you can win. You can win. Get that in your spirit, all right? Mm-hmm. Men need encouragement too, ladies. I mean, the brothers, come on, holler at me, fellas. They need some encouragement too. Sometimes just showing your husband some respect. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just some RESPECT. Find out what it means to me. Come on. Just respect. Now, how do you show respect? Well, that might be different from man to man. Mm-hmm. So just because that's the way you saw your mom show respect to your dad or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not making plates.
That might not be what's their vibe, or their thing. But you need to find out, and you need to show every man wants to be respected, loved and respected. Okay. If you can hit those two things, you're 60% there. All right. So remember that. Show that brother some respect. Don't talk crazy to him in public. Don't say things that embarrass him, all that kind of stuff, because I promise you that pinch, those words are going to strike a chord on a whole nother level that you don't even know. And that husband will start dismissing you. Okay?
That's good. That's good advice.
We're still together, but I've done dismissed from you. Right. So please get that. Show your spouse, in particular your husband, some respect. All right. Because that's the fuel that keeps things moving forward.
Yeah. So Song of Solomon, if y'all ever, here's the thing, we don't really preach about from Song of Solomon because it's kind of X-rated, if you will. So, but sometimes just go in as a couple. I challenge you as a couple over the next week to just read some of the Song of Solomon, especially from like the Message version or Passion Translation, some of those that are a little more graphic than King James. But Song of Solomon 1 and 2 says, let him kiss me with his kisses of his mouth, for your love is more delightful than wine. God isn't uncomfortable about us talking about affection. He created romance. He created a man and a woman. He created our bodies to go together and to there are parts of us that are designed to fit each other. Okay. He created companionship. He created marriage to be enjoyed, not merely to just be a check in the box and to be something that we endure until he comes back. It is designed. He put Adam and Eve together. He formulated Eve so that Adam would have a mate. She was designed for Adam.
And literally, she came from him.
Yes.
So
And
the
so,
connection
so
was
there's,
there.
yes. And so there was a design there was a unique design from the beginning of creation.
Right. So please understand that you two together make a unique team that cannot be defeated. But you have to put in work. All right. You got to put in work. All right. So listen, here's your challenges for this week. Bring back something you used to do while dating. Think about it. Bring back something you do while dating. And maybe it's meeting for lunch or dinner. Maybe it's writing a note or taking
Somebody
a ride.
used to give me really good cards.
Maybe it's watching the sunset, just holding hands, dancing in the moonlight. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is. But I challenge you this week to go back to the things that were working in the beginning and see if they won't still work. See if some of that good old magic can't come back around.
Yes. And make sure that your spouse knows that you still choose them. Each spouse will plan one surprise act of kindness. So what is one surprise act of kindness that you can do? Not because it's expected, not because you're fixing something, simply because you love them. And then your questions that you're going to answer, those are going to pop up here in just a little bit into the Marriage Encounters Facebook group. But they are, when do you feel most loved by me? What act of affection means the most to you? What have you stopped doing that we should start doing again? What made us feel like best friends when we first met? And how can we bring back more warmth into our marriage this week? Okay. And so marriage isn't kept alive by anniversaries. It's kept alive by ordinary moments of intentional love.
Right. So keep pursuing each other, ladies and gentlemen. Keep choosing one another over all of the challenges that you face in life, over all of the difficulties. Choose ye this day whom you will love. Right. So choose your spouse. Keep the doors open. Keep the opportunities there to be creative in your date nights. And remember, as we always say, well, I think that's a different one. Right. So next week, we're going to wrap up this whole Summer Breeze series.
Yes. Our final conversation is called Catch the Breeze. We'll talk about creating rhythms that will carry your marriage into the fall and beyond, because healthy marriages don't happen by accident. They're built intentionally, one habit at a time. So
as we always say, until next week,
keep building your friendship and your marriage
with faith, fun,
and forever love.
And remember, practice making babies.
Don't.
Yes.
Bye.
Thank you for watching, and make sure that you join us on YouTube and our webpage, Marriage Encounters with Bill and Michelle at Weebly.com.